All right, today we are diving deep into one of the most powerful books in the New Testament, the book of Hebrews. Its entire message is really built around one central, repeated, and absolutely thunderous argument. And we're going to break that down. So let's just get right into it.
At its core, the book of Hebrews was written to answer a question that feels so incredibly modern, right? But it's as old as time. It's this: when life gets hard, when the pressure is on, and your faith is really being tested, why keep going? Why hold on when it feels so much easier to just let go?
Okay, a crisis of faith, the problem facing the first believers. To really get the answer, we have to understand who this book was written for. See, it was sent to a community of Jewish Christians who were smack in the middle of a serious crisis. I'm talking persecution, intense social pressure, and they were incredibly tempted to just abandon their new faith in Jesus.
Just think about it for a second. They were being pushed to go back to the old ways, to the familiar traditions of Judaism, a system they knew, a system they understood inside and out. The pressure was just immense to give up on this new, pretty difficult path of following Christ and just go back to what was comfortable, what was safe. The stakes, they really couldn't have been any higher.
So the whole book, and you can feel this when you read it, it's basically this urgent sermon. It's a passionate plea from an author we don't even know, just begging them to hang on. The message from start to finish is this constant warning. Do not turn back, do not give up, and maybe most subtly, do not drift away. Don't just slowly fade out. So, how do you convince someone to stick it out through all of that? Well, the author of Hebrews builds this single, magnificent case. The book's loud, thundering answer, the thing that gets repeated over and over again, is this: Jesus is better. Just better. Better than anything and everything you might be tempted to go back to.
All right, so the Supreme Son, building the case for Jesus' superiority. How does the author actually build this case? They don't just make a claim and walk away, right? They provide evidence. The first part of the book is this super systematic argument for the absolute supremacy of Jesus, and it starts with beings that everybody held in the highest regard.
So first up, a comparison to angels. Now you got to remember, angels were seen as incredibly powerful messengers of God, but Hebrews comes in and makes it crystal clear. Angels are servants. Jesus is the Son. Angels worship Christ. Christ is the one being worshipped. He isn't just a messenger. The book says he's the one who literally upholds the entire universe. So yeah, there is absolutely no comparison.
And that leads us to the next big comparison: Moses. What about Moses, the great lawgiver? Everyone revered him, and for good reason. But the book draws this really crucial distinction. It says Moses was a faithful servant in God's house. But Jesus, he's the faithful son over God's house. See the difference? One is a trusted employee in the house. The other is the owner of the house. Again, the point is hammered home. Jesus.
Okay, so now we get to the absolute theological heart of the argument. A perfect priest. New covenant, the ultimate upgrade to the religious system. The author's shifting gears now, moving from these hugely respected figures to the very system of worship itself. And the case they make is that Jesus is the ultimate upgrade to the old priesthood and the old covenant. To do this, the author brings up a name that might sound a little obscure to us: Melchizedek. But here's the crucial point, so hang with me. The traditional priests, they all came from the line of Levi. They were mortal, they died, and they had to offer sacrifices for their own sins too. But Jesus' priesthood, which is compared to Melchizedek's, is totally different. It's eternal, it's royal, and it's perfect. That makes it fundamentally, you guessed it, superior.
And this breakdown here just makes the practical difference so clear. Under the Old Covenant with the priests, you had these animal sacrifices that had to be offered again and again and again. Your access to God was limited, it had to go through a priest, and the effect was mostly about external cleansing. But look at the New Covenant with Jesus. It's a total upgrade, a single, once-for-all sacrifice. Direct access to God for you, for me, for everyone. And it's not about external stuff, it's about real internal change. It actually cleanses your conscience.
And this right here, this is kind of the mic drop moment of the whole argument. One perfect sacrifice, finished forever. The work is done. You see, the old system was built on repetition, this endless cycle. But the new way is built on resting in a finished work. There is nothing more to add. Why? Because Jesus' sacrifice was perfect and it was final.
So the book has just spent all this time establishing that Jesus is better. Now it pivots to the big so what question, right? Running the race of faith. Because Jesus is better, we can endure.
All that deep theology becomes intensely practical. The takeaway is, because he is superior, we can endure.
But before we get to how to endure, the book defines the fuel for that endurance. And that fuel is faith. The definition it gives is just so powerful. It says, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So faith isn't some blind leap in the dark. No, it's the firm substance, the concrete reality of our hope. It's the convincing evidence of realities that we just can't see yet.
And then, the author gives us this incredible hall of faith, basically a list of heroes who lived this out. Think about it. Noah obeyed and built an ark before a single drop of rain was visible. Abraham followed God's call without knowing his final destination. He had no map. Moses chose suffering over all the fleeting treasure of Egypt. And what's the common thread? They all trusted God's promise, even from a distance. They never saw it all come together in their lifetimes, but they were always looking forward.
So with that amazing legacy of trust in mind, this cloud of witnesses cheering us on, we get this incredible metaphor for the Christian life. It's not a stroll in the park, folks. It's a race. It's a marathon. And the key to running it with endurance is looking to Jesus, the founder and perfecter of our faith. He's not just the one who starts the race for us, he's the finish line too.
Okay, so how do we actually do that? How do we run this race? The book gives us some really clear, practical instructions. First, lay aside every weight and sin. Get rid of anything that's just slowing you down. Second, fix your eyes on Jesus. Don't look at the crowd, don't look at your feet, lock your focus on him. And third, and this is a big one, endure hardship as loving discipline, not as punishment. Reframe it. It's not God being angry with you, it's more like a coach training an athlete to win the goal.
And that brings us full circle, doesn't it? The entire, really complex, beautiful argument of the book of Hebrews, it can all be boiled down to this one simple, powerful message: hold fast. Christ is enough. Because Jesus is better in every single way, you can hold on. Don't drift. Don't you dare give up. He is enough.
So Hebrews has made its case, loud and clear. Jesus is better. And that leaves us with a final question. And it's not just for those first-century believers, it's for you and me. What race are you running today? In the middle of your own specific struggles and challenges, will you choose to fix your eyes on him and just endure?
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It really helps us.